Ball game. Victor did a nice job stabilizing the first game of the reason why I thought he managed his emotions well and was really throwing the ball exceptionally well. Then their strength showed up with a couple of lasers. They hit 2 miles and hit them really good, which they're a dangerous team for that reason. But I think our response after their 4 spot was probably the story, because when we turned around and scored 4 of our own, that's hard to come back from when you're on the other side battling back into the game and you're right back in it and the other team scores for you, and it's a little bit of a bigger swing. And bullpen was good behind it. We hit some balls extremely hard. No one hit 2 absolute rockets. Griff had a big double. There were some other balls hit that were really squared up. A little bit of that east breeze knocked Mendham's ball down. Hit a ball in for a homer. So there was some good contact and good quality pitching and some good responsive baseball by our team.
Griffin, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Griffin, you nodded there when he said absolute rocket. As someone who can definitely speak on home run hitting, what did you think of Nolan's 2 home runs tonight?
I wholeheartedly mean this. Like, I expect Nolan to hit a home run every time he gets up to the plate. So
It's great, Griff. Keep telling him that.
I'm being serious. Like, that's what I expect. So when Nolan gets a hold of one, it's gonna be hard for it to stay in the ballpark. So it was expected, I guess.
Josh talked about the answer inning. Are you a guy that remembers your big hits, your home runs and big hits?
Honestly, not really.
Okay.
There's a few where I do remember them. But other than that, I just try and move on.
All right, you've hit a lot of big time home runs, but I'm not so sure that's not the hardest ball I've ever seen you hit. That double.
Yeah.
That was smoking. Did it feel that way to you?
Yeah, that one felt good. Anyone who plays the game knows that sometimes when you really get a hold of one, it's like you don't even feel it. And that was one of them that I didn't even feel.
Griff, this is your first regional, so what is that like to come out here in the postseason and perform really well like you did today?
It's awesome. It's the reason why I came here to Oklahoma State. This is what I wanted to do, and we're blessed to be able to do it here at home. And it's really exciting, but at the same time, I just want to treat it like it's another game. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. We just got to keep winning, doing our thing, and we'll keep playing.
Nolan, you had the 2 early, and of course the second one, it's rolling to Ponca City right now. Did you notice that the gap band wasn't playing when you rounded the bases? NCAA doesn't allow that.
I didn't. I tend to not really hear that much, when the game's actually going on. I think that's a good thing for the most part. But yeah, I didn't notice.
Our equipment managers were not locked in. The hat and the racehorse were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So
say, how
they
disappointed
really
not to
need
have
to
the
be
horse.
questioned. They can't get that part of their job right.
We got on them. They'll be better. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just wanted not to have the horse when you walked in there. And
Yeah,
there was no horse.
that's a cool addition to our home run celebration.
And he said he didn't feel the double. How did the one over the bridge feel, the home run, the second one?
It felt good. I got fooled a little bit on it, so it kind of caught it out in front. But it's one of those things, like he says, when you hit the sweet spot, it's like you're just swinging a light bat and don't even feel it.
Nolan, there's been times you've kind of fought your swing a little bit, I think, this season. How good is it for you to get off to this kind of start in the tournament?
Yeah, it's great. I'm trying to do anything I can just to help the team at this point to win. Just trying to swing at the right pitches and just compete my butt off.
Anybody notice Rock's defense tonight?
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's literally one of the best defensive players I've ever met in my entire life, and he's obsessed with continuing to get better. So that's like when Nolan goes to the plate, and I expect him to hit a pump every time. Same way with Rock. Any ball hit his way, I expect him to make the play.
Speaking of Rock, Roman, and Kale, and yourself, y'all all sporting a bleach blonde hair.
Yeah.
So did you start that? Obviously you came here with the hair, but did you start, hey, get your hair bleach blonde to the other guys?
Yeah, there's a couple more guys that you'll see as the weekend goes on, but we were hanging out one night and the roots were kind of coming in natural, so I was like, it's time to redo it.
I think you should go jet black.
You think you'll do the blonde?
I don't know. I don't know if that suits me too well.
I don't know. Rock
Being
looked
a
pretty good with it.
ginger, and I don't know if that'll
Just
work
do the
good.
stash.
A blonde stash.
Get it black.
That's bold.
Do it black.
Yeah, you do jet black.
Maybe. But yeah, we were all just hanging out, and I was about to do it, and I was like, hey, let's do it. And, as a couple people bought in, and then as we, put it into our group chat, more people decided to buy in, and now it's just everywhere.
How'd you get Rome bought in on it? He's got black hair. Seeing him with the blonde hair doesn't necessarily look his
Y'all need
style,
to
but
fix
he's killing
him.
it.
He's the worst. Y'all need to fix
I
that.
think it looks good, personally.
Well,
I think Roman looks great, but
Kind of skunkish.
yeah, I like it though.
It's nasty.
It's spicy. It's spicy.
Josh, to get a little serious here, how'd you feel?
I don't
Okay,
have anything else to do tonight, so
okay.
just kidding.
You commented about Victor. Roman did come in, scuffled a little bit, but got the inning over. And then Kale pitched well. You feel good about how this game went pitching wise and
Yeah.
what you have left?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Victor, if you just said Victor's going to go give you 6 good innings against a really good offensive team, and he's going to leave the game with a lead, you take that. And then it's good for Roman to kind of get the. Roman's usually a little better when he's not quite as strong. He's very strong tonight. I think the ball's come out of his hand. I looked at the scoreboard. I saw 100, so it's obviously not right. It's too fast. Needs to be about 96 for him to be at his best, because when it's 96, it sinks more. So he'll be more under control and more sync tomorrow if we need him. And it was great for Kale because Kale bounces back fast. So anytime you can get your feet on the dirt in this setting, your second time you pitch, you're going to have a much more clear mindset and a good feel in your gut about what you need to do to be successful. So they'll both be better having pitched tonight, and they'll be available because at this point of the year, they're very well conditioned, and they'll pitch as often as we need them to try to win the tournament.
Do you expect Zach to be available this weekend?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Assuming you're still starting Justin, what would you say about him and season he's had, what you expect from him?
Justin's an elite competitor. Justin really, 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 truly loves to pitch. The mound is, I think, his comfort. He loves to be out there. He loves to pitch on behalf of his team, and that's his place. So he'll wake up tomorrow, and I know he'll have a great vision of what he wants to do with the ball in his hand tomorrow night.
What do you think about Arkansas?
Oh, they're a very good team, no doubt about it. Very good ball club. I didn't get to watch much of today's game, but at this point in the season, I mean, Missouri State's the best number 4 seed in the tournament. I don't care what anybody says. Good luck finding a 4-seeded team with that kind of offense and that kind of size and those kind of kids that play with such confidence. And Arkansas's probably the best 2 seed in the whole NCAA tournament, in my opinion, as well. So there's just good baseball here.
Robert mentioned the defensive by Rock. Marcus had a few good plays. Your infield has just been lights out.
Kids are doing a nice job. Just gotta keep working at it every single day. You gotta prepare correctly, take your ground balls, keep your fundamentals strong, set your feet, anticipate every pitch. Those guys have great motors to play together, and they've got a nice little middle of the infield energy that they share. They're good for each other.
What's the basic base? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you. With a couple of different stretches today where y'all were really able to put together a lot of hits, just kind of preparing for this game, how much time did you all spend on batting practice focused on that part of it?
Well, we were very lucky. The tournament director did an unbelievable job of making sure that despite the first game when it ended, he got both these teams a chance to take batting practice on the field, which is exactly the way NCAA tournament baseball should be played. The 2 teams should get to prepare correctly on the field. If time allows, these games are too important to just slough them into a batting cage. It's awesome to let both teams get ready to play an important baseball game on the field. It was awesome. So I appreciate that perspective on behalf of these kids. And then kids prepared like they always do. We had a scouting report, we watch film, and we prepare, and then they take it and run with it inside of the game, and they did a great job.
All right, so they've got righty-lefty options to start out with days. Maybe we haven't told anybody, but you guys statistically basically hit the same against lefties and righties. What?
Well, whenever Coach Van Horn tells you he's going to pitch, you let me know, okay? So I can pay closer attention to that guy tonight when I watch film. I don't know who they'll throw. They're a good team. I know Hagen Smith's a lefty. I know Wiggins is a righty. I'm sure they're both available depending on how they choose to use their pitching. And probably like us, they assess things at night, talk as a staff, and decide what game plan they're going to go with. I haven't heard of a starting pitcher yet for them, but they certainly got good talent left to pitch.
You guys basically hit like 288 or 289 against lefties and righties.
Good.
What's the key to that, do you think?
Balance. Just being balanced, and a lot of guys have worked really hard to become better at certain elements of their game. So it's a compliment to the lefties that have become better at handling lefties, and a compliment to these big righties that have become better at hitting right-handed breaking balls. They've worked hard at the game because they know that balance is required. And these Missouri State kids, Barnes, Ziegenbein, and Rodriguez are some of the better breaking ball pitchers that we've scouted going into a game in terms of guys that can land the slider for a strike. And if you're not in control of your strike zone and hitting the right pitch, that can be very difficult on right-handed batters. Our right-handed batters handled their breaking balls tonight really good. So I would say that's kind of in line with your question, is kids being aware of how to make adjustments as the season goes on, because it's required.
Basketball questions.
You talked about Medeiros in his day, and obviously the ball got away from him a few times, and then they stormed back a little bit, and then you guys put up those runs. So what is the pitcher's mindset when you got your offense that's just going and hitting balls and hitting them far after giving up somewhat of a decent run?
I would
to come
say that when he got the third out in the sixth inning, I think he went over there and set out and caught his breath. The game got fast. He was in total control, complete control of that game. Got the first batter out on the first pitch, in the sixth inning, and he walks the guy in 4 straight, and then they kind of boom, boom, and next thing you know, the game got fast. It had been completely under control. I think he caught his breath over there. When we rallied back and scored 4 runs, I think the team picked him up, because Victor's an incredible teammate, one of the best we have. And of the pitchers, he's the most invested pitcher we have in terms of when he's not pitching, he's with these guys. He's constantly rooting them on. So he probably took a deep breath. But the great thing about Victor is he bounces back quickly. And so if Victor's needed again at any point this weekend, he'll be the first one to volunteer to bounce back on short rest. Thanks.